My dear, the silence before your voice broke me more than the words ever could. The moment your shadow reappears, every second of waiting fractures into 1,000 regrets. I held my breath for your words. Now, I'm drowning in their weight. Waiting wasn't patience. It was a slow unraveling of every hope I stitched inside me. The wait is over, but the scars it carved, they're the real conversation. Soon, your voice will shatter the quiet. Will it rebuild or destroy what's left? I've rehearsed every sentence in the dark. Soon, your truth will rearrange my world. The seconds multiplied into lifetimes, and now you speak, I'm already undone. This silence was my fortress. Now your words are the storm I feared. I waited for your conversation like a ghost waiting for the dawn that never came. When you finally speak, will it be the healing I crave or the poison I deserve? The wait was a secret wound. Now the talk will be an exposed one. You promised a conversation. I feared a confession. Now, both stand between us. The quiet screamed louder than any argument ever could. Now, we face the noise. Soon, your voice will flood this emptiness, but can it wash away what's broken? I counted every heartbeat during this wait, each one louder than your silence. The conversation arrives, a reckoning written in the spaces between your words. Waiting was my punishment. Your words might be the sentence. This wait was the abyss. Your conversation will be the plunge or the rescue. I brace for your voice, knowing it will change the map of my soul forever. The silence stretched like a wound. Your words will decide if it bleeds or finally heals. I waited for a conversation. Now, I fear the truth your silence disguised. Every second waiting was a lie I told myself to survive your absence. Your voice was a distant star. Now it burns close enough to blind me. The quiet was a cruel lullaby. I'm wide awake, fearing what you'll say. When you speak, it won't just be words, it will be the undoing of us. I held space for your truth, even when my heart begged me to run. Waiting for you was a battle between hope and the dread of losing. Your silence was a sentence. Your words will be the trial. I feared the conversation would change everything, and maybe it already has. The pause before your voice felt like falling into an endless night. Soon, the air will crack with what we couldn't say for so long. The weight burned my skin. Now, your words might set me aflame. I clung to your silence like a lifeline. Now I'm afraid to hear your truth. Our conversation won't mend the past, but it might ignite a new chaos. The weight was an ocean of doubt. Your words will be the tide. I prepared for a conversation. Instead, I'm bracing for a reckoning. Your silence was a fortress. Your voice will be its siege. Waiting didn't bring clarity, it brought shadows darker than before. Your words will slice through the silence like a blade I wasn't ready to feel. This conversation is a storm, whether it destroys or cleanses is yet unknown. The weight was a void. Your voice will fill it with chaos or grace. Every heartbeat in the weight whispered warnings I refuse to hear. You're about to speak. I wonder if it's the truth or the lie that saves us. Waiting for your conversation was learning how to live with a fractured soul. I'm ready to listen, but my heart is already trembling from the weight. The silence between us was the loudest betrayal of all. Soon, Your words will be a wound or a balm, I don't know which yet. Waiting for your voice was like waiting for winter to thaw a frozen heart. The conversation you bring is the ending I feared and the beginning I need. I've spent nights imagining your words, now I dread hearing them spoken aloud. Your silence was a void. Your voice will be its earthquake. The wait taught me pain. Your conversation will teach me truth or loss. This talk won't fix us, it will reveal who we've become in the quiet. I waited, hoping for clarity, but I'm afraid your words will bring confusion. Your voice was the echo in my emptiness, I'm terrified it's fading. The silence was a test. Your words will be the verdict. Waiting was my punishment. Your conversation might be my release, or my doom. I held the space you left empty, now your words will fill it with fire or peace. The weight fractured time. Your voice will either stitch or shred its pieces. I feared this conversation would break me. Now, it might save me instead. Your silence was a wound. Your words will be the needle or the poison. The wait was an endless shadow, soon. Your voice will bring the light or darkness. Every moment waiting was a whisper from a heart unwilling to let go. The conversation is near, I tremble not from hope, but from the truth I dread. Your voice was a ghost I chased in the silence, it's coming home. I waited through storms of doubt. Your words will calm or unleash them. This conversation is the last thread in a tapestry unraveling with every breath. Waiting was a slow burn. Your voice will be the flame that consumes or warms. The silence screamed the loudest lies. Your words might finally tell the truth. I fear your voice will rewrite the story I wrote in my dreams. The wait was a quiet war. Your conversation will be the battlefield. I waited for a chance to hear your truth, now, I brace for impact. Your silence was the cruelest sentence. Your words might be the unexpected pardon. The pause before your voice was an abyss, I'm falling into it now. I counted the seconds waiting for you. Now, I count the heartbreak ahead. The conversation will unravel what time tried desperately to stitch together. The weight stripped me bare. Your words will either heal or expose me further. This talk is a reckoning, ready or not. It's the end of waiting. If this touched your soul, don't scroll, like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. I feared your voice would be a knife. Instead, it's a key to new prisons. Waiting was the silence before the storm your words will bring crashing down. Your conversation won't erase the past, it will tattoo it deeper on my skin. The wait was a slow decay. Your voice will be the reckoning or resurrection. Your silence was a wound I learned to wear. Your words will be the scar. The conversation will be a mirror. Do you dare face what it shows? I waited not for your words, but for the change they promised to bring. Your silence was a shadow I lived in. Your voice is the dawn, or dusk. The wait was a secret I held too close. Your conversation will spill it all. Soon, your voice will unravel the silence I built around my broken heart. I braced for a conversation but found a confession I wasn't ready to hear. Your silence was a language I learned to speak. Your words are a new dialect. The wait was a slow drowning. Your voice is either the air or the flood. I held on to the quiet, fearing your voice would shatter the fragile peace. The conversation will either sew our wounds or rip them wide open again. I waited for a sign. Your voice is the reckoning it finally brings. Your silence was a wound left unspoken. Your words might be the sting or salve. This conversation is a crossroads, every word a step toward healing or ruin. The wait was an echo chamber of fears. Your voice will break or deepen the sound. I prepared for your truth, but now I question if I'm ready to receive it. The silence was a cruel lullaby. Your voice will awaken or forever silence me. I waited through the quiet, hoping your words would make the shadows retreat. Your conversation will be the first crack in this fragile glass we call us. The wait was a slow unraveling. Your voice is the final stitch or tear. Your silence was a fortress. Your words will be its siege or surrender. I feared the conversation would end us. Maybe it's the beginning of something else. The wait taught me despair. Your voice might teach me forgiveness or forgetting. Your silence was a wound I carried alone. Your words will be shared pain or relief. The conversation is near. I'm ready to break or finally breathe again. I counted every silent moment as a loss. Your voice might reclaim or confirm it. The wait was an ache. Your conversation will either dull or deepen the pain. Your silence was a shadow cast over every hope I held. Your words will shift it. I waited for a conversation that could undo the years we lost in quiet. The pause before your voice was the longest heartbreak I never named. Your words will either be the blade or the balm for this fractured love. The silence was my enemy. Your voice might be the unexpected ally or assassin. I feared your conversation would bring the end, but maybe it brings clarity. The wait was a lesson in loneliness. Your voice will be the exam or escape. Your silence was a wound unspoken. Your words will be the scar or the cure. The conversation will either stitch us back together or unravel what's left. I waited for your truth in the dark. Now I brace for the light it brings. Your silence was a prison. Your voice might be the key or the lock. The wait was a slow death. Your words could be the resurrection or the final blow. I held the silence like a fragile glass. Your conversation might shatter it forever. Your voice was a ghost in the quiet. I'm finally ready to face it. The wait was a slow burn. Your conversation will either warm or consume me. Your silence was a wound I learned to hide. Your words will expose or heal it. The conversation is coming. I don't know if I'll survive it or be reborn. I feared your voice would be a knife, but maybe it's the balm I need. The silence screamed louder than any lie. Your words will be the truth or a new lie. Waiting was a slow unraveling. Your conversation might finally tie the loose ends. Your silence was a shadow that swallowed light. Your voice will be dawn or dusk.